Good morning, everyone. It's 10 a.m. I'll call to order and welcome everybody to the October the 4th, 2021 of the Commission meeting of Limestone County Commission. Ella, do we have any public comment?
We do. Mr. Jack Brown.
Mr. Jack, will you mind stepping right up here, Mr. Brown?
All right. I live out on Toon Road, Mr. Samet's area, and I'm here to address the flooding issue that we have out there. Just three of us are the ones that have a real problem. And when I moved into the house on the 1st of July of 2019, I didn't know there was a flooding issue. Nobody bothered to say anything, and I understand that according to Alabama law, the seller does not have to divulge all the information about the property. So the first weekend I was in the property, it had flooding in the front yard and the side yard. And so each time it came a heavy rain, it got progressively worse. Then on February the 5th of 2020, it rained from that afternoon until Thursday morning around 7:30, and I couldn't get out of my house. I had to put boots on to take my dog out on the Toon Road and then walk up the hill so the poor little thing could relieve herself. And that's when I met Mr. Samet, and he came out and took a look at it. And I had also contacted one of your engineers, Mark Massey.
Yes, sir. He's sitting right there.
Oh, okay. Back in July of 2019, he sent me an aerial shot from USGS and told me that house and my neighbor's house should never have been built there because it's the lowest areas. And so this time, 2 weeks ago, Saturday, the 18th of September, it rained so much that even Toon Road was flooded. And my neighbor had over a foot of water in his garage, and then I measured the water line on my air conditioning unit, and it was at 15.5 inches. And here again, I had to wear waders to get out to the street. And what I'd like to know is why the county cannot put in storm drains for that section of Toon Road and figure out where to dump the water. Because every time we have a hard rain, we wind up getting flooded. I have to call an AC guy to replace the ductwork under my house. And I mean, he told me Monday when he was out there, he says, as long as it rains and floods, you're going to be replacing ductwork. And that's not cheap. So I would like to request that the county commission investigate how to put in a storm drain so that we can alleviate this problem. Because my realtor, the person who handled the deal, said, well, why don't you just sell the house? I couldn't have a clear conscience if I sold that house to someone knowing the flooding issue exists. Good. And so, again, I just would like the county commission to investigate how to put in the storm drains and to get it done, because this is crazy. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Mr. Brown. Yeah, we've looked at that several times. I mean, I don't know what the solution really is. Mark, you want to address it, or?
In looking at the aerials and topo and everything around the area, all the water from the field behind the property all drains to that location. It's a depression that, I mean, that depression was called out even within the USGS maps, shown as a depression. There's just really nowhere for water to go. So to put a drain in would cause, I mean, we'd have to go across private properties. I mean, the most cost-effective solution would be going across private property to drain that. I can't remember how far it was. I'd have to go back and pull everything up, but we have to go across private property and through somebody's pasture to even get to the closest location to even be able to drain that. And
yeah, and if I'm not
within the road right of way, there's really not a solution within the existing road right of way because of how deep the drain would have to go to be able to ditch that. Even if we ditched and piped it, there's nowhere to get an outfall within the road right of way.
You can even look at that picture right there. You can see where it comes down.
I think the lowest point that you could possibly try to take it, you'd have a 10-foot ditch across private property.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to pipe it the whole way. I mean, there's not an option. You'd have to pipe it the whole way, and you would have to go out across private property and through a pasture to find the most economical way to do it.
The person that owns the house diagonally across from me, as well as Randy Hobbs, said there's not going to be anything done to their property in the way of putting pipes in to run to that pond.
Yes, sir.
So they're saying that they wouldn't allow it?
Well, at first they agreed that it could be done, and then over a few days they changed their mind and said we're not going to let that happen.
So, I mean, I can pull it back up and go over it with you, Daryl, so that we can get it back in our minds and
Okay.
take a look at it. But that's a very difficult. It's going to be a very difficult solution and costly solution for that location. I mean,
Well-
and so, like I said, it's an older subdivision. I don't know the history of when it got subdivided or how it happened, but like I said, I mean, the USGS maps show that as a depression that retains water.
The house was built in 2012, Mark.
Okay. And so I'd have to go back and see if I could figure out when that subdivision was approved and how that happened. See if there were any notes from the previous engineer that he would have left anything that would have notified anybody of anything. But that's I'm willing to do that research.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
My neighbor would too.
Yes, sir. I bet.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. We're
you.
sorry
Thank
about the trouble you have in there, but he'll look into it for you.
Thank you.
Ellen, do we have any more public comment?
We do not.
Thank you. Next thing on here will be call the roll. Ellen, please.
Commissioner Sammet?
Here.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Here.
Commissioner Black?
Here.
Commissioner Townsend? Here.
Commissioner Sammett, you want to listen to pledge today?
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. All right, moving on. The first thing on the agenda, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes from September the 30th of 2021. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mr.
Motion
Chairman.
by Commissioner Sammett, second by Commissioner Barksdale. Any discussion with them? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Motion carries unanimously. Second on the agenda, I'll ask for a motion to approve claims in the amount of $969,749.70. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Barksdale. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Black. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Motion carries unanimously. Do we have any conflicts of interest or anything coming from the commission today? Everybody's silent. I'll take that as a no. Next on here will be on the resolutions and orders. I'll ask for a motion to approve a resolution to extend participation in the Association of County Commissioners Workers' Compensation Fund Incorporated for a 3-year period, which will conclude on September the 30th of 2024. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Black, second by Commissioner Barksdale. Any discussion with it? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Motion carries unanimously. First, on the contracts, agreements, and grants. First on here, I'll ask for a motion to approve State of Alabama Department of Corrections contract with the Limestone County Commission Community Corrections Program to provide an allocation of the amount of $280,424 for reimbursement funds of qualified offenders and appoint Mandy Morgan, Community Corrections Director, to execute the contract. The contract will begin on October the 1st of 2021 and end September the 30th of 2022. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Stammett. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Townsend. Any discussion with it? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Second on here, I'll ask for a motion to approve a MOU between the Limestone County Drug Court and the Alabama Administrative Office of Courts to approve financial support in the amount of $25,000 to the Limestone County Drug Court. The MOU will begin October the 1st of 2021 and end September the 30th of 2022. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Blight. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Barksdale. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Third on here, I'll ask for a motion to approve a 3-year renewal of, amendment to a service agreement for Clarity Connections for support of the maintaining of the www.votelimestone.com website with SOE software components, an annual amount of $6,300 to have a motion to approve this.
I make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Barksdale. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Samet. Any discussion with it? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Salmon?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
A motion carries unanimously. Fourth on the agenda, I'll ask for a motion to approve a First Amendment to a tax abatement agreement from TriCap and M2 H2. The original tax abatement was approved December the 3rd of 2018. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Black. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Townsend. And for the discussion part of it, Mr. Mitch Claiborne, the CEO of the corporation, is here today. If you have any, does anybody have any questions for him? Well, thank him for being here. And thank you for all you're doing in Limestone County.
Thank y'all, appreciate it.
How many employees do you have, sir?
We have 300, we have 200 in the state of Alabama, we have about 100 in Limestone County,
And growing every day.
and hiring now.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Claiborne.
Thank you.
Any more discussion with it? No more discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Commissioner Salmon?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Fifth on here, I'll ask for a motion to submit a to Center of Disease Control and Prevention and the / Department of Justice grant through the Alabama Department of Public Health with no match from the county for the following. The first one on here will be a cost of 4 corrections officers for 3 years, an approximate amount of $665,958.48. Second on here will be a cost of a court call video system in the amount of $64,800 for 3 years. With court call will provide remote court appearances that will provide 2 kiosks for the use within the jail and the equipment for the courtrooms with laptops that have unlimited usages. And the third on here will be a cost of 200 COVID-19 tests for 3 years, an approximate amount of $3,000. And then the fourth thing on here will be a cost of PPE, which will be gloves, masks, gowns, etc., for a 3-year period of $35,055. Do I have such a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Townsend. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Barksdale. Any discussion with it? Now, I just want to thank Lieutenant Waddell and Michelle Williamson for working hard to get this here, because this will be, any dollar we can save one way will be money we can spend somewhere else. So thank them for their hard work. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Salmon?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We have no budget revisions, no emergency purchase, no board appointments. Award of bids, we have 3 bids on here. The first bid was for tire recycling with Liberty Tire for $2,750 per load. The next one was for uniforms with Airmark for $30.06. That's from Revenue Commission. And the fourth one was with the Decatur Printing Solutions, and it's County Commission window envelopes would be $212.50. To have such a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Samet. To have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Barksdale. Any discussion with any one of them? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Salmon?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Then under personnel action, I'll ask for a motion to promote Caleb Durden as chief investigator. To have such a motion.
I make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Barksdale. To have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Black. Any discussion with him? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Salmon?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Second on here will be to approve to hire Trigan Tribble as a corrections officer pending a drug screening. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Black. Have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Barksdale. Any discussion with it? No discussion with him. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Salmon?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Third on here, I'll ask to amend personnel policy to make the changes to the promotion section under the career advancements and also the inclement weather section under administrative policy leave. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Black. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Townsend. Any discussion with it? And this is just to clear up to where, the handbook has a little few holes in it, so any more discussion? No more discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Fourth on here, I'll ask for a motion to transfer Beth Giss from dispatch to warrants clerk. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Townsend, have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Barksdale. Any discussion with her? No discussion with her, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. I'll ask for a motion to approve the merit increases listed below. We did strike one off earlier. It was a mistake on anybody. But outside of that, then I'll ask for a motion to approve the others.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Black, to have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Townsend. Any discussion with anybody on there? No discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. At this point, I'll let somebody else talk a little while. Our engineer, Mr. Massey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It'll be short, so I won't save you too much time. We have one subdivision for your consideration today. It's Sunderland Hills. This is a minor subdivision for preliminary and final approval. It's creating 20 new lots in District 4. This is on the east side of Tillman Mill Road between Section Line and Cannon Road. And that's it.
Well, normally with this time, I have a time to take a nap and get me a drink of water. I don't have time
that's-
today, did
That's quick.
Hey, we
That's
did
quick.
20.
Quick 20.
That's 20 lots. Come on now.
I'll ask for a motion to approve the one subdivision unusual that was submitted by our engineer, Mr. Massey.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Townsend, to have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Barksdale. Any discussion with the one? No discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, and under other business, I'll ask for a motion to remove the following from inventory, which is a laptop from District 1. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Sammet, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Black. Any discussion with it? No discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. And second on here, I'll ask for a motion to dispose the Parks and Rec Board effective immediately. And we discussed this in the work session, and so I'll ask for a motion to approve that.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Barksdale, to have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sammet. Any discussion with it? No discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We have no scheduled public hearing. Report of officers, Commissioner Sammet.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I got a couple of things I'd like to mention. Old Schoolhouse Road, contractor got the concrete work done on it, and hopefully we'll have that thing opened up by the middle of the week. We, depending on the weather right now, I guess, but anyway, it looks good. And on Barnes Road, that was a major undertaking for us. I mean, it took a lot of teamwork to make it work, and I want to thank everybody. I especially want to thank my crew, for the job that they did. We worked together and worked a plan up to get that thing cut out and put back together in the same day, and appreciate everybody working with us on it. Engineering helped us with the hauling, with the backfilling, and then, of course, moving the culverts. It's hard to set them when on the Tennessee line when they're sitting in downtown Madison, But it worked out in a day's time, and I appreciate everybody. And Commissioner Black, you don't know how much help the excavator that you loaned us was. Yes, sir. Those were big culverts, and we couldn't handle them. We didn't have the equipment to do it, but it took everybody working together, and I appreciate everybody. I guarantee you. Folks don't realize what, you can put all the asphalt down you want to, but these bridges and culverts are your mainstay. I mean, your asphalt's no good if you can't run on it, you know, and if your road's out, your road's out. But that's kind of where we were here. But a lot of money goes into it, a lot of money that could go into asphalt, but you got to have those bridges, and we all deal with it. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Samet. Commissioner Barksdale?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This week and next week, there'll be paving in District 2. This week on Craft Road, Craft Lane, and Ransom Spring Road. And the end of this week or next week, they'll be paving Bergreen. So I would just ask that you be careful and be mindful and considerate of the employees and traffic control. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Black?
Yeah, we're still cutting the sides of the roads. We're going to go back one more round and do another cutting, so be aware of that. It's not many times that we have people out cutting in October and November, but we're going to cut them again. And then I have 3 roads, I think, that when they get to it that we still haven't paved yet that we'll get to before the end of the paving season. So I'll be looking forward to getting those done, and that will wrap up all of my projects for this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Black. Commissioner Townsend?
Yeah, they should be finishing up New Cut Road this week. I think we talked about it in the work session. If everybody could just, pay attention to them out there. So a lot of moving parts out there that they're working with. Chapman Hollow, we like about 3 cross drains out there, and then we're going to be focusing on, I think, the bridge on the other end in the next few weeks. I think have you ordered the culvert and all for down there? So it'll be coming in. So we're working down there, and also on my bush hogging, we're finishing up our second round. So if everybody could just watch out for them, and we're running the brush cutters as well. So if they could just watch out for the guys, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Townsend. First off, I want to send our prayers out to Sheffield and fallen officers. And like I said, we said in the work session, I thank Michelle, her quick thank you. She called about wanting to turn the courthouse blue to honor that deputy, and so we did. And our prayers go out with that family. And while our prayers are going out, my prayers also go out with Commissioner Black's family. Commissioner Black's wife has lost a mother and a stepmother. Being a your step parents. I'm a stepfather myself. Sometimes your step parents become your parents too, and my prayers go out with their family. They have lost. Velvet has lost her mother and her stepmother in a matter of a couple of weeks here. So my prayers go out with Commissioner Black and his family.
Thank you.
Me and Commissioner Black both have on the pink today to support breast cancer. And we normally do the courthouse in pink, but right now we've done it because of the honor there of the sheriff's the fallen officer over here. I want to thank all the departments. October 1st is coming around. We finished the budget year up real well. Everybody done a really good job. It's we have so many different departments, so many different things, but everybody works together like spokes in the wheel, like Commissioner Samet said. So I want to thank all the departments. Fiddler's Convention had a great turnout this week. I was out at the Fiddler's Convention, supporting the Fiddler's Convention, and brought a lot of people to the county, and a lot of people shopped and spent local money here. So thank the Fiddlers for all they've done. And like I said just earlier in the work session, the Storytelling Festival and all has put out the corn stalks around town, and I want to thank the Sheriff's Department and Tammy Waddell, Lieutenant Waddell. She let us have inmates when we went out in my field and picked up pumpkins and decorated around, and thank them for that. Mr. Claiborne, thank you for being here today. He's invested a lot in our community, and when a CEO of a corporation comes in, that means he's a pretty good fellow to work for and all that. So thank you for coming in. Showing interest in being here. So thank you, Mr. Claiborne. And one thing I was going to talk about in the work session I forgot about, and I wanted to bring it up between all of y'all, and while the sheriff's here, we'll talk about it. It's been, we have traffic control talking about paving and all. We have thought about this, putting a deputy out there with them and all. And I know that y'all are fixing to call in some old police cars and get some new ones, because we have ordered some new ones. Just a thought, it's something we'll think about. What about us keeping one of those and letting them keep one of those for traffic control to park out there with our paving crew when they're paving? Because those blue lights do slow people down. And the paving crew, because we save one life, the old car won't bring much. And we'll have to strip all the, instead of stripping equipment off of it, we'll just keep one of these old cars and, because we ain't got to have a deputy. And that way, we don't take a deputy from saving somebody's life or something. But I mean, I'm gonna get with the sheriff on that. I just wanted to, bring it up amongst y'all. I think that's a good idea for us to
Are you
put
going to have L101 sit in it?
If I need to, L101 can handle it. He can handle it. We can put L101 in if we need to. No, we better not.
good.
But all I'm talking about, we don't need to chase nobody down and give nobody no ticket or nothing. But I mean, as far as, just for traffic control, that car sitting there, like New Cut Road especially, I mean, we're out there working all, those blue lights, people pay attention to those blue lights. And the safety of our employees is number one. And like I said, the old cars won't bring enough to, to pay for one lawyer through a lawsuit if we get hit or something. So, I mean, that's something I would really love to do is keep in traffic control situations. And it's not only that with the districts needed or whatever, if you're out, if we're out working tree down the road or whatever, if we could, they can get it and we can put it out and, just to help with traffic control and everything. So that's something I would love to entertain today.
Only if we can get a blow-up of you to put behind the wheel.
We're going to get a full-size car.
Yeah.
There's a lot of me to put behind the wheel. I mean, we'd better not get a Yugo. Or that electric car Jason bought that time for Captain Rich, we better not buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a rather large car. But it takes something big for, something like me, And anyways, I know we're joking cutting up there, but it is, safety is, if we hadn't, safety is number one to me and all our employees. I don't care. I want all 280 employees. That's just like the deputy at law. our biggest objection every day is everybody to go home to their families. So, with all that said, we will adjourn until Monday, October the 18th at the Clinton Street Courthouse Annex, where we're located right here at the 100 South Clinton Street, Athens, Alabama. Thank everybody for being here today.